And this is from Jacob. He's a filmmaker from Austin, Texas. Hey, Jen and Travis, love listening to your show and been listening for a while, but I wanted to finally reach out and ask a question.
Oh.
So nice. I struggle with deciding what to do that will actually grow on YouTube.
Fair.
I think most of us do.
Hello.
I have a hard time picking up the right thing. I currently do comedy sketches and working on finding my niche in that world. But I also have other ideas of doing filmmaking tutorials, podcasts on filmmaking, or even a channel on my fitness journey as I lose weight after the military. What is your guidance for really focusing in on the one thing of something that you're passionate about, but could also be a sustainable YouTube channel and business? Also, I love candy corn.
Oh, yes. I didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be an also something like nice about the podcast or something.
So how do you pick what niche you're in? And this particular creator, like they said, Jen, they're into so many different things. We hear this question all the time. The answer is usually the same, but in this particular case, the interests that they're passionate about are varied. So it's like the weight loss thing, making filmmaking tutorials. At what point do you think that they should really start niching down and making it about one thing rather than all of these things on their channel?
This is a tough one. Number one thing I'll say to not do is do not start all of these channels right now.
Right.
Please.
Right. Please don't do that to yourself.
Yes. In best practice should be different channels. And I love like a little glimpse into the future of people like this where I'm like, if you stick to it, I know you're going to have channels for all of these things. But sticking to it with that first, we'll call it an experimental topic is the trickiest part. Not only is it your intro to YouTube, it's your intro to patience of YouTube, as well as just finding your style through video after video after video. And then, seeing what happens from there. It's the consistency of sticking to one of those things that you pick. What do you actually pick? I mean, that comes down to you as a person. Weigh out, what are you truly, truly passionate about? Is weight loss just something that you're just doing right now? Are you a total like gym rat and you're in the gym and you're just constantly researching and trying new, fitness splits and stuff? I don't know if I even use that term correctly.
What is a fitness split?
Fitness split. I'm pretty sure that's a thing.
Oh my God.
I'm like 90% sure it's a thing. Whether I said it right or not, I don't know. I should not start a fitness channel. See?
Don't do that, Jen. Don't do that to yourself. Fitness split.
So you have to decide like what has longevity to it. What is something that you're going to be able to create different variations of content about. And this is like the thinking part. It's easy to dive in and just start testing all these things out. But when you go to test something, you need to actually test it.
So this particular creator is in a situation that a lot of other creators who watch this channel are in. Small creators that are under, 500 subscribers. They're trying different things. They like different things, but they don't know like what should they niche down into because they're passionate about all these different things. And as YouTube will typically tell you, and we try to tell you too, niching down is really for the purpose of growing your channel. You don't actually have to niche down as long as your expectations are in line with what that means, which means you'll have some videos that get a lot of views and some videos that get almost no views. That's just the expectation. But if you're trying to grow a channel, and exactly what this creator says is that they want to make it a business and all this other stuff, they have to look at something that is something that they are really passionate about and they can see themselves making videos on for years to come, hundreds of videos about the same basic subject over and over.
You make it sound like a trap.
And over and over. Once you've figured that out, you can do some research on YouTube and see what other type of creators are growing in that space. And if they're successful, some niches don't have like large creators. They may cap out at like 20 or 30,000 subscribers. And that might be it. That might be the top of where the interest is, the total addressable market, the TAM as they call it. And others will have larger ones where you have millions of subscriber channels out there. So once you figure out that and you're like, yeah, I like this, for example, fitness. Now, of course, fitness is huge. You're absolutely going to be able to create a channel that is very successful in fitness if you do all the right things. So now your next step is look at who's successful in there. Look at the time that they're putting into their channel. Very likely it will be intimidating, and it should be intimidating because if you're trying to make this a full-time thing, you need to make sure that you are 100% behind it. If none of that scares you, you look at these successful channels and you're like, I can do that. Great. Start to make a plan of the type of content that is working on the channels, especially smaller channels in that niche, and start making your own version of those videos, which means thumbnails, titles, topics, the way you're going to do it, how your editing is going to look. All of those things are things you should be writing down before you even start to do it. I know most creators are like, I just want to do it. Fine. But again, your expectations should be in line with the work you're putting in. If you're putting in extra work to really figure out what works on YouTube and then do that thing, your expectation is it should perform pretty well. If you're just randomly putting stuff up, then you should put the expectation that random things are going to happen to your views. Sometimes they'll be okay, sometimes not so much.
That's the truth. Plus, you don't have to think of, niching down as like, I do hear this from a lot of creators. Well, I don't want to get stuck in that. And I don't want to do that forever and then never be able to do anything else. And that's not necessarily the case. If you think about even just like using this fitness channel as an example, there are so many kinds of fitness channels. It is mind blowing. The type of fitness content that you want to make is where you can go and explore with, what do you actually want to make? Are you focusing on, your routines of bulking and cutting? Are you actually, making routines for people to follow along with? Are you focusing more on the nutritional side of things? Like there is almost like an infinite amount of places that you can go. And this is why, so many channels are super successful. They're all offering slightly different values, but that's where you creatively get to experiment and see, what feels right. What do you like to create? What do you enjoy creating, especially in the beginning stages? And then once you kind of figure out, I like this felt good. The repetition is so important, but the experimental process of trying to figure that out is kind of the fun part, but also totally normal for videos to flop, videos to do, better than others. This is when you figure that out, because once you figure that out and you're like, go, 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 things will be pretty smooth sailing.
And the other side of this is, of course, if you want it to be your job, is like money. But let's be honest, money, right? RPMs across these different niches will kind of give you certain amounts of cash directly from YouTube. But I will say that actually the two that we've talked about here, fitness, and then he said also about filmmaking. Filmmaking has great RPMs, but forget about all that. With both filmmaking and weight loss, you can actually create your own digital product, which would be a lot more lucrative than just whatever you get from YouTube. Creating your own product definitely can get you from your 9 to 5 to having your YouTube dream come much faster. And some people are like, I don't know how to do that. There are plenty of ways to do this, and don't get worried about it right now. But what I'm saying is these are niches that will actually get you into quote full-time YouTuber status faster than something like reviewing toys or something, which may get you a whole bunch of toys from manufacturers but may not be paying the bills at the end of the month. With something like photography or filmmaking, you're actually talking to people who have disposable income to pursue these things, and they may want to purchase either affiliate sale products that you might have links to, like a camera and stuff, which you can definitely make great money off of that. Or in the case of weight loss, if you create your own weight loss program and maybe even coach people to lose weight like you did, you can make a lot more money a lot faster with a lot less subscribers. I know a lot of channels out there that have made their own businesses and are full-time at under 30,000 subscribers, which if you try to do that with just AdSense money, it's incredibly difficult across most niches and actually impossible across many. So something to really consider, that those two niches this particular creator talked about, totally viable for a full-time career. So what niche should you choose? Well, as we said, there's a couple things to think about. Number one, is it something you're truly passionate about? If you are, then look on YouTube. Are they successful niches? If they are, amazing. You can start doing your research as to how to make your content even more successful. And of course, perhaps the most important thing, are you good at it? We've seen some people make channels on things they're not good at. If Travis had to make a channel about how to sew, no matter how
I was just gonna say that. Why did you say sewing?
Because I'm in your brain.
I was literally just gonna say Travis tries sewing.
I'm tapped in. I'm tapped into your brain. You don't know this? I was a former magician. People don't know this. This is a true story. I'm actually a former magician. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If Travis tries sewing, I'm going to tell you right now, no matter how much knowledge I have about how the niche works, it's not going to be genuine. People are going to see right through it, and they're not going to subscribe to my channel. But you guys out there are great. We'd love to hear more from you. Leave us a comment below as to what type of niche you should get into and what you're into, and tell us about your success stories. And we'll see you in the next one.